Yes.
All right. We're back for a different episode of the Archery CoachCast with Coach Larry Wise. We are doing form evals. This is an opportunity for us to show you real life shooters, what they're doing, and work through some things that they got going on. How you doing, Larry? Welcome back.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, even though it's on Zoom.
Yeah, well, it's just like being there almost.
I know it kind of is. I mean, it
These
has
days, yeah, we're used to it.
So this first shooter, this is Christine Davis. She volunteered. She actually had messaged me direct outside of what we were doing because she had some stuff going on, and she's punchy. She's got some target panic happening.
Yeah.
And we're chatting about where she's at and draw length and form, and she's like, well, I'll get you some videos, and she sent the videos, and Larry has had a chance to review them. I've looked through them. She's shooting a bow hunter setup, but I think there's some things we're gonna look at the videos of Christine shoot. Yeah. We got a couple positions here. So she's shooting an Expedition DLX 50 pounds at 29.25 inches. So it's already set at 29.25, and she is a 5'10" young lady. So, that makes sense.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, near what we would expect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Proper alignment, which we'll point out here. That's probably the fundamental principle we're going to look at first.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So this is a quick overhead view. We'll take a look at this view. This is Christy. I think she's actually shooting at America's Best Bowstrings where she works. So,
yeah, that's out in Ohio.
Yeah, correct. So what do you think there, Coach?
Yeah, real close to what we're looking for here. So when we look at full draw holding position, however you want to label it, we're looking for alignment of anatomy. Is the bow arm straight? Are the bones lined up? Yes. Is the line from shoulder to shoulder parallel to the arrow? And the sweatshirt gets in the way here, but that looks close.
It's close.
And then is the holding arm, her right hand forearm, is that in line with the arrow from a top view? So in other words, is the holding arm in direct opposition at 180 degrees to the force of the bow?
Right.
And yeah, that's very close. It looks better okay, now there it got just a little bit beyond straight alignment with the arrow.
Yeah, but also note, let's go back, watch the amount of head movement to put her into that position. So there's definitely a little bit of, so for those of you that are going to watch this, I want you to watch the head movement coming into anchor, and then we can talk about what that's a symptom of. You see all that extra movement coming in. Well, when you're coming out, meeting the string rather than bringing the string to you, you might get a false sense of like good alignment. For sure. You can see there's a little bit, she's adding some, I don't think she's into her back as much as this movement of the elbow indicates personally. But that's just from experience of watching. I know what she looks like shooting from position one. So watch another shot here. Anything else you want to put out from this position before we move on to the next?
Well, just to mention to our viewers to look for those three alignment features that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Straight bow arm, the bones are lined up.
Yep. So
the bone structure across the shoulders from right shoulder to left shoulder is parallel to the arrow. We would like that. And then is the holding forearm, wrist, hand in line with the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. This takes care of the physics involved.
Yep.
To do otherwise means to use too much muscle to hold the bow and not take advantage of the bone structure. Yep. So we want to maximize bone, minimize muscle.
Yep. Good. All right. Let's find the position 1 video here quick.
It's nice to have that overhead.
Yeah, that's why
hard to get. I see there's a step ladder there in the picture. Yeah. So
that's somebody else. That was Peyton Gregory.
Yeah, I recognize Peyton.
All right, here's the position 1.
Okay.
For Christine, is this laggy for you, or is it all right? I know you've seen.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll watch her shoot here.
Okay, so on first look at this one, I see a holding elbow that might be just a little bit high. It's forced. It seems to me it's forced high, doesn't need to be there.
So we're talking about this right here.
Yeah. So a reference line for those watching would be the line of the arrow. The elbow, holding elbow, should be at least as high as the arrow, maybe a pinch higher, depending on a person's anatomy.
Right.
So here it looks like it's exaggerated. And so when you raise that elbow up, then you are taking away efficiency from holding in the back.
Right.
Yeah. So that I see right away. Shoulder line looks pretty good. Shoulders look close to being level.
Yeah. But I am curious though that if that high elbow, can we also, I'm going to back up here 1 second, Christine. I know she's going to watch this. Can we just pay some attention to the shuffling of the feet and the moving of the hips?
Yes, she has happy feet.
I know this isn't necessarily a Target Panic thing. She's a friend of mine. I've known her for quite a few years through my affiliation with bowhunting.com and their sponsorship with Bowhunter Die. But listen, set your posture, people. Let's set your posture. Let's set yourself before you even put the arrow in the bow. I mean, right. She's and I know what she's doing. She's setting her release hand. She's gonna put the bow on her hip or on her thigh, really set her grip, and then look, like she's like bending down. Let's get to that upright this position. Let's go do everything from this position. All right, let's moving on. Right.
So yes, in our short little video here, we can't attend to all of the form improvements that we would want her to make.
Yeah.
But we can point out a couple, and that gives our viewers a sample of what we do when we do a form analysis.
Yeah.
So, and I was looking at this just a few minutes ago. We have our stick man or stick woman chart. Right. And the reverse side of that is a listing of some very common form issues that people need to improve. And so that's where we begin. What's the holding position? And then how do you get to that holding position? That's all of the points of stance, knocking the arrow, setting hands, et cetera, et cetera. And so when we have time to spend with a student, we can attend to all of those issues. Yeah. Here, we're mentioning a couple that we see that stand out. And yes, movement, movement from the time you set your stance till you get the full draw needs to be minimized. And we see that Christine has a lot of movement. Yep. And so think about launching a rocket down at Cape Canaveral. They don't have the launch pad moving while the rocket. No, we want to have it sat, the full launch pad sat, and then raise the bow, draw the bow to that fixed core, your fixed spine and head position.
Yep. So let's give a quick feedback on this elbow and the situation with the anchor and where the anchor is. What I personally think that there might still be a ½ inch into this anchor that could change personally. I'd be interested to see if a ½ inch adjustment allowed her to not have to move her head.
Shorter?
Well, it's either, I think longer. I mean, longer? In some ways, and I'll tell you why. Because when you go to, let's go to full draw here quick before she anchors. Up, too far. Hold on. So you watch her draw back.
Okay.
She hits full draw, and when you look at her head position, she does swing her head out of the way. But so she's at full draw, right? Hold on.
Yeah, elbow's a good height right there.
Right. But when she comes into anchor, where her head is, she's not even where even remotely where she needs to be. Right there. Yeah. Her head is perfectly between her spine, between her shoulders and over her spine. Mm-hmm. It's also possible that peep sight is too low. And that could also have play a role in you have to dip your head down. And then when you dip your head down, it's going to make the bow arm, the shoulder come up. So there could be a couple of things going on. It may not be a draw length issue. It could be a peep height issue.
Yeah. And just a learned habit, setting that elbow extra high. So what experiment I would do with Christine here is to have her draw and shoot a Genesis bow. A rope loop on a Genesis, no sight, but just draw and hold, and that would, without resistance at the back, no cam stop. That would allow her to find a more natural position where she is not fighting the bow or trying to over pull into the stops. Yeah. So find that natural position, execute some good shots from that, and then measure the draw length, and then duplicate that on this bow, her actual bow that she's shooting.
Right. And see what where are you measuring on that? You're going to measure just from the knock valley to the burger hole?
Yeah, to the rest mount hole. Yeah, which should be, well, we would really want to check directly above the grip pivot point. That's the point we're trying to measure. That corresponds to her body. So
yeah, typically the grip pivot point should be in line with the burger hole on most bows, I believe.
Yeah, but not all.
Not all, but most.
Yeah,
pretty close.
So with Genesis bow, we can get a measurement of her body when it's in a good alignment, and then duplicate that measurement on her actual bow.
Oh, there's that one.
And then we have an intruder.
Yeah.
Photobomb.
Yeah, photobomb.
And then get her positioned properly with her actual bow.
So, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that there's a couple of things to play with there for sure. I would be anxious to see what the giving that. Now, again, though, just having her draw back a Genesis bow and doing all that extra head movement and stuff and going to her default position, that still might be off. So she has to get to a proper full draw position. So, you know, again, that overhead view might be necessary even with the Genesis bow to make sure that those shoulders are parallel to the arrow. You know, that this elbow isn't so high. We want to see that a little bit lower. Her bow arm looks great. You know, So she does a lot of really good.
Shoulder height looks pretty good.
Yeah. But you know, her head.
That's a strong point for her, and she needs to take better advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The great thing with the Genesis bow, if you shoot 20 shots with that, an archer with her experience should already be generating a feel for that position.
Right.
And it's a relaxed feel.
Right.
Which I don't think she has right now.
I don't think so either. And I think that is the precursor to the punchy, panicky shots that she's having.
Yeah. Yeah. You get into that high muscle tension and therefore high control kind of mindset.
Right.
And that high control mindset gets you into punching the release.
Yeah. And not to say that you can't be semi-accurate with a command style release. You can.
Yeah.
Kyle Douglas, who just won Vegas, is a prime example of the accuracy you can have. He shoots for PSE, but his body position is good. His alignment is good, but he has a command style release where that pin's in the middle, and his command style is different. It's, you know, it's a very pronounced. So I'm not saying you can't do that. Would we advocate for that? The majority of people be able to do that? I'm gonna think not. But you know, in a situation where you're under negative tension and you're trying to combat and hold against the negative tension and activate properly, that's when it's not going to work. Yeah. So, and I think that's what we have going on here. And the other thing she can do too is play around with that D loop length, shorter or longer, to help with that. Here's another reason why I think that maybe there may have to be some play with the draw length. If you shorten a D loop from here, you're only going to make this elbow come higher. It's not going. Right. It's not going to lengthen. So, in order for this elbow to come down and be more relaxed, which is also going to help get into her back more, I think that we are looking at maybe a smidge. Now, I've also seen longer, not much. But that peep height really does mess things up because she really brings, I'm going to play this quick. She really brings her head down.
Yeah. So, just shooting close range and looking over top of the peep side would give us an idea of where her chin level would be.
Yep.
And get her neck more relaxed.
Yep.
Get tension out of the neck. And now her archery looks like it's a lot easier.
Yeah. Yep. So I think we covered enough. This should help Christine at least get started on her transformation. And hopefully she can make some adjustments and we can follow up with her and see what kind of changes are made. All right.
Yeah, we should meet with her. And if she has an hour, which is what we would do after a 15-minute analysis here with a person.
Yeah.
We want to meet for an hour and a half to use our stick man or stick archer form.
Yep.
Write these changes down and how to improve them. Go through the checklist on the back of that sheet, so we all understand what issues need correcting.
Yep.
So, coaches and athletes know the same thing. So we're talking about this, the same thing in the same language.
Yep. All right, good. So that's Christine. Now we're going to transition over. I'm going to, hold 1 second here. I am going to pull up Mindy, who is a former student of ours. This is Mindy. Yes, Mindy Schmidt. She's one of our students. She took the inaugural II Archery Forum class, made some major changes, had some significant improvements.
Did she take the mental class also, mental 101?
Did take the mental class, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is her overhead view.
Okay, so this is recent?
This is recent, yeah. This is current.
Okay.
So we'll look through. I think that a lot of what we had changed before has stuck. I know she had to take some time off. I know at one point in time she's just getting back into it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Good bow arm.
Good bow arm.
Okay, the holding arm gets in line from what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll watch one more shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
She does coil. She does bring her head over quite a bit now, but it's not bad. Her shoulders look good.
No, I would say, let's look at one more. I don't think her shoulder line gets
all the way around.
Yeah, it does not coil around to be parallel with the arrow. So I think she has some work to do there. So yeah, see that line is pointing.
See here. I see what you're saying. Yeah, hold on.
Pointing
so left. Here, I see what you're saying. So this line is pointing this way. Yes.
Now watch, that does not coil or rotate.
Yeah, let's watch.
She draws the bow, not enough. And so it's still pointing to the left.
This way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that would be an issue that can be attended to as you draw the bow. It must be attended.
Yeah.
So in the first half of your draw stroke, we would want her coiling the upper portion to get that shoulder line parallel to the arrow. That's in the first half.
Right. So this way, she's coiling. She should be coiling this way.
Right.
Well, let's watch.
Right. Hips don't coil.
No.
Hips should still remain open to the target, but the torso coils along with the shoulder line.
Yeah. Let's watch that. I want you to watch that too. There's actually zero coiling going on. Watch this line of her shirt right here.
Yeah.
And see if it moves.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that should coil around. Yeah. Yeah. So, we can discuss that with Mindy. And we see something similar here as we did with Christine just a bit ago. And that is not setting the stance, the feet, the knees, the hips, the torso, the shoulders, and the head before raising the bow.
Yep.
That core line has to be set before raising the bow.
Yep.
And for many archers, it's not. So what happens is you're
photobomb, Elton photobomb again.
Photobomb again. Yeah, he's everywhere. Yeah. So it's like shooting off of a moving launch pad. And if the launch pad is set differently for every shot, which means the head position is different every shot,
right?
Can you expect the same result?
Looks like my I gotta quick pull my video back up, but you go ahead and continue. I just have to pull that back up. It looks like my browser just shut down. Let me pull that up again.
All right.
Go.
And I have a pet peeve here. I know what generates a lot of this movement that we see in archers. And that is that long back stabilizer bar. Yeah, you knew what to circle. Right. So
oh, man.
when guys are doing this, like my young teenage guys, yeah. I tell them, it looks like you're dancing with a pregnant woman. Because your arms are way out trying to dance with this object that you can't get close to.
Yeah.
Right. And that's my daughter-in-law right now.
Right.
With twins, she is quite large.
So she has dual.
Yes.
bars. She doesn't have a sidebar. She's got
two front bars. Right. Yeah. That are hanging way out. She's done great. But that back bar, like that, it's a 2-footer. And that's controlling posture. That's controlling how you set your core.
Yeah.
And men with strong core muscles, well developed, can maybe get away with that. But our youth shooters and ladies, unless they have taken time to highly develop their core, they can't get away with that move. Yeah, it's very difficult to repeat and build your core strength with all that movement. Yeah, so if we watch the front back movement here, they are moving forward and back some now. Oh, yeah, so yeah, this is a good time to catch Mindy if she's just getting back into practicing again after a time off.
Yeah, so just to give an example of how to set that. So if you watch right from here, when she's not in posture. Yeah. This is the position right now in the set position where you want to set your posture. So you have to flatten that foot out. I mean, if you cannot because what she does is she kind of puts the bottom cam into her hip and then raises her foot up on her toe. And that's where she holds it. Okay. Like a lot of shooters do that. And I
see that a lot.
Is the stabilizer causing that? Not really. It's just a matter of it's a habit that was picked up. So then you have to repeat that every time you put that foot down. Well, hopefully you're putting it down in the same exact spot, but who knows? But you're also not setting your spine. You're not setting your posture. And if you're not doing those things, you're certainly not setting your mindset. That is all part of that position of the NTS. Right. So what we need her to do is she needs to, before she raises to draw, she needs to be in this position.
Yeah.
And start down, bring the bow back down, get into the set position, set your posture, set your head between your shoulders over your spine, clear your mind. Let's get ready to shoot the arrow the way it's supposed to be done. Then raise to draw.
Right. So with my students, my personal students, in this situation, I would take the long bar off, put a 6-incher on, and put a little more weight on it so you can create the same balance.
Yeah.
And then begin restructuring the form from ground up and getting that posture set from feet, knees, hips, torso, shoulders, head.
Yeah. And another aspect of the NTS that we should at least mention, you can't tilt the hips forward, activate the quads and the glutes without with keeping the body in this position. You can't do that from here.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. You need to do that. You need to you need to do all that stuff before raising to draw. Yeah. So again, that becomes an unrepeatable thing per se.
Yeah. So I see the ladder in the background there. So here's an analogy. If the joints of that ladder were moving as you were trying to climb it, all right, put load on it. When you put load on, yeah, that's not going to be a good ending.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, Mindy has gone through some form changes and
yes.
and really had a drastic improvement last indoor season. But a lot of times we focus too much on the part of the shot that happens after we get to anchor and not enough on the stuff that's happening before, or we just sort of fall back into an old groove after time off or whatever the situation is. So, you know, I think that part of what will ultimately lead to her being more consistent and probably shooting better is trying to redefine that early stage of the shot process, setting the stance, setting your hook and grip, and setting your set position, setting your posture, and activating that core, and also concentrating on that coil during draw to load.
Yeah, in the first half of the draw. So, so this is why we use that stick archer form and circle items on that and write how to correct those.
Right.
We don't say don't do that. No, we have to say what do we need to do to correct, and then the list on the back of that form make sure that we don't miss anything.
Yeah.
And we have an even more detailed list that we work with 70 points on it.
Yeah.
From beginning to end. We work with that with the more advanced archers.
Yeah. All right. I think we covered quite a bit in a short amount of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll stick with just Christine and Mindy, and maybe even do a follow-up with both of them. It'd be kind of cool. It's the first time we've done an episode like this. So, you know, please give us your comment. For those of you who listen to the audio version, it would probably be better for you to watch it on YouTube, but we understand you can't always do that. So it's available in both formats. Watch out for classes. You can book private lessons, form evals, coaching through the IAI, or I mean, there's all kinds of stuff coming. So we encourage you guys to, you know, pursue a higher level of shooting, and the education and the coaching is out there for that to happen. So anything else, Larry?
Yep. So keep in mind the basic fundamental principle of archery, of learning archery. Archery is a simple 2-step sport. Step 1, learn to hit the mark. And step 2, repeat step 1. Now, how you learn to hit the mark is critical here. All right? And that's why using us with an organized method of coaching and well-defined terms based on anatomy and the use of our anatomy called biomechanics. So that's important. It's good information, it's correct information, and it's not based on what Frank and I or Doc say. It's based on what the body can do.
Yep. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a nice day.
Yep. Thank you.